Welcome to the Shred the Spread podcast, your home for all of your NFL sports betting needs. I'm your host, Jared, and back for a new week with a contest is me and my right-hand man. Coming off of our first losing week of the season is my dude, Dino. What's going on, man? Talk to me.
What's going on, my guy? Like I said, depressing week. Kind of one of those rough ones we had this week, man. Ends the streak, but hey, man, I'm ready to hop right back at it. I'm trying to go ahead and get back on this winning streak again, man. And let's hop back. Let's hop back on and get a good week for this contest, man. I know we're due. We're due for a 5-0 week.
They say after a rainstorm comes a rainbow. So the sun's got to come back out, man. So we're gonna find our way. You know, maybe it was just setting us up, man. Had to humble us a little bit because let's be real, 5 straight winning weeks against the spread. That's
money.
Tough. That's tough.
Money. Yeah, right.
We got our first losing one, 2 and 3. You know what? I will say, knock on wood, I'm cool as long as our losing weeks aren't 0 and 5. We can succumb.
Yeah.
All right?
Oh yeah.
With that being said, let's hop right into week 7. Let's get right back on track.
All right, here we go. So in all likelihood, Deshaun Jackson's going to at least get a return. Deshaun Jackson gets a block. Are you kidding? Way downtown. Oh, what a shot from Curry. That is a disgusting act by Randy Moss.
The Jacksonville Jaguars are traveling to the Saints. The Saints are 1-point favorites and at home now. They opened up as +3. Obviously, the injury regarding Trevor Lawrence is substantial. However, do you think Trevor Lawrence is going to play in this game?
I'm not 100% for sure. I really don't know. I think he might get a crack at it. Like I said, they've been rolling as of late. That defense has been playing great, man. As long as it's not too serious, I think he can go back out there and hop out. I mean, like I said, we'll see. Either way, like I said, that Saints defense is going to be tough no matter who's out there.
The line moving 4 points is telling me that he's not going to play. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I feel that. I feel I think so. I think so.
I mean, I know like statistically over the last 2 seasons, they've been better on the road, which is kind of weird. But regardless, I think I like the Saints in the spot. What are you feeling?
I'm feeling kind of queasy about both sides when it is like, I give you that. Like I said, the Saints will come out, surprise you one week and then disappoint you the next. I mean, it's too much up down. I mean, you're talking about another up down team in Jacksonville. I mean, so far, at least I can say with Jacksonville's been 4-2 against the spread this year. The Saints have been 1-4-1. So I've been I'm very hesitant on the Saints. It's like this is a game they should bounce back. Like they should bounce back. I mean, if Trevor Lawrence isn't playing, that should be for sure bounce back game for him. But I don't know, man. Like at times that offense is too stale, and the one way you're gonna have to really, really attack this Jacksonville defense is passing the ball, and that sometimes I don't think Derek Carr is up to it. It's very, very weird for me to kind of read. Like I said, I'm gonna do some more research on it too. Like I said, we'll have a discussion. But yeah, like I said, I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah, obviously you're not going to play this in the contest just because there's so much uncertainty, and then we are going to have the deadline lock. So just for those of you guys who've been following our picks with the contest, we're not probably going to play this. If anything, primetime unders. I think primetime unders are hitting the 72% clip this year.
Yes,
so,
sir.
I'll probably just take the under and call it a day. I do think Olave has a good game. That's probably one of my favorite props just because he's seeing the targets. But regardless, we don't really know what's going on in the game, but take the under.
And let me double down on that too. The Saints under has hit every game this season. So
all right, Dino. Well, thanks, because now I'm about to just unload on it. No,
right.
Let's move on to the first game of the 1 o'clock slate. That is the Detroit Lions traveling to the Ravens. Ravens at home, getting Jared Goff outside. Ravens as a 3-point favorite. I mean, why do I think this is a good spot for the Ravens?
I mean, shoot. I mean, think about it. Like you said, Jared Goff is out the dome. I mean, granted, I give it to him. He's been playing magnificent. I mean, he's been playing very magnificent all throughout the season. I mean, he is the main driving engine that really gets his team going. going. But I think what people don't really kind of look at is look at this Ravens defense. This Ravens defense really really stymies big plays, those big chunk plays. They only give up, I believe, let me look at my notes here. The Ravens defense for big plays, and then the Lions are predicated on big plays. The Lions, I believe, average 11 yards per completion on the passing game, and then 7.7 yards per attempt, which is the third most in the league. So as long as the Ravens are able to stymie this defense, I can see why you like this line here. Lamar Jackson is a little bit of a different look than what this Detroit defense has seen all year, even though they've been great. Lamar Jackson is a different beast. And to be honest with you, like I said, the receivers haven't been playing their best. They've been kind of drops here and there, and they got to finish drives with the field goals. But I'm telling you what, man, best believe I do like Baltimore here too. Trust me, and trust me, if you're going to win the division, you're going to have to get a game like this in right now.
Yeah, it's just the lines there. I'm having a difficult time reading them because, yeah, obviously they beat the Chiefs, first game of the season, whoop-de-doo. But then the Seahawks went out there and handled business. They beat up on the Falcons. They beat up on the Packers, and the Packers didn't look any good versus them. They beat up on the Panthers, and then they beat up on the Bucks, which, granted, we were on the Bucks, but they only put up 20 points. So, I mean, this Ravens defense is still solid. I think this is the spot where you want to back the Ravens just because they're at home, and they went on the road and they handled business versus the Titans. That bad loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers is kind of lingering in my head.
Yeah, damn right.
But, them putting up 28 points on that Cleveland defense also is kind of counteracting that. So this is probably one of the spots where I would usually back the Ravens. I don't know if I will do so just because the offense is just so uncertain. You never really know what you're going to get from Lamar. Like, does he take off and change the game with his legs, or can he throw for 280 yards? I just don't know. And the only thing that's kind of holding me back from the Lions is they're a little banged up. So, I know they have some guys coming back from injuries, but, those things are lingering, between, Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery, they're 1-2 punch. That's difficult because Montgomery has been such a workhorse for that team. And, I don't know. This will probably be one, like you said, we're probably gonna have to look into a little bit more because we have a really good offense in the Lions going against a really good defense in the Ravens. And the Ravens are second in the red zone, again, on defense. So they let up the second least amount of points in the red zone on defense. And obviously limiting the Lions to field goals is only going to set this game up to be way more competitive. So this will probably be one we'll have to look into a little bit more, but let's not spend any more time on it. Let's move on. The Buffalo Bills are traveling to the Patriotless Patriots. I'll tell you what, dude, 9 points. Like, I know the Bills just looked pretty shitty against the Giants on primetime. I'll chalk that up to the primetime undercurse. But how can you sit here and take 9 points and feel confident with the Patriots? I mean, if the Bills hop up 14-0, right? 14-0. Do you think the Patriots even have a chance? Like, they could just run away with that game.
Exactly. And keep on going. Don't look back.
That's what I'm saying.
Race. And here's what I'm going to say. Let me put it in perspective for you. Here are my notes for today. The Patriots are a mess. Mac Jones is 0-13 as an underdog in his last 13 games.
That's a good one.
Okay. Mac Jones last... Let me tell you something. He has 3 wins as an 3 times where he covered the spread as an underdog. The last time he covered as an underdog, he threw 3 passes. That was the game against the Bills when they won 14-10. The game before that, they had 4 field goals, an interception return, and a rushing touchdown. Mac Jones has not been any factor to anything when he's an underdog. It's really, really ridiculous. The last time the Patriots covered as an underdog was Bailey Zappi was the quarterback. And both of those games, they were underdogs both of the times they covered. So you can't tell me, trust me, I can't take the Patriots in anything. Like I said, defense is starting to become a mess. And
that team's just falling apart, dude.
Yeah, it's a crumble cookie.
I don't think there's a number you could give me to back them at this point.
No, none.
So
at all.
I like the Bills, not probably as a contest play. The number's a little large but I do think the Bills bounce back here. I think not that they lost, but they kind of should have lost to the Giants. If the Giants kick that field goal before going to halftime, they don't have to go for the touchdown at the end of the game. So that is a eye opener. But the Bills do that. They're like a yo-yo, dude. One day they're strung out, the next day they're folded up. Like, it's just, they are a completely different team week by week. And it's just when you catch them.
I agree right there with you.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move on to, this is an interesting game. We have the Cleveland Browns traveling to the Colts. Colts are 3-point home underdogs. This one's kind of weird to me. Like, how do you not back the Colts in the spot? Like, obviously our guy, that sucks. Anthony Richardson done for the season, getting that season-ending shoulder surgery. So, he was looking really good for a little bit for offensive rookie of the year. It looks like CJ Stroud's most likely going to take that. But with that being said, you have the Browns coming off their best win of the season, shutting down the steaming hot 49ers, and you have the Colts coming off a really, really ugly loss. The Colts has got to be the right side here, right?
We're going to battle. We're going to battle with that.
Oh.
We're going to battle. We are going to battle with this one. It's like, I get the I get what you're saying. I get the logic. My biggest thing is, it's like, I can't get that image of that defense out of my head. I honestly can't, man. And they've dominated any and every opponent who's gotten their way. The one biggest thing the Colts got going for them is the running game without Anthony Richardson, and the Cleveland defense is, I think, number one or top 5 in run defense. Yeah. And the one thing I will say is that really surprised me about the Browns offense is that the running game has stayed consistent even without Nick Chubb. They still rank 4th.
The offensive line is filthy.
Yeah. Who you telling? Next to Philly, I'm not gonna lie to you, Cleveland is close. Cleveland is honestly really close. Like I said, it's hard. The O-line and D-line combination between the Cleveland Browns alone just set the tone. I like Gardner Minshew, but I can't have him throw the ball 55 times in a game either. But to your case, what I will say is the Cleveland Browns ain't going to throw up mad points either. They're not going to just blow the team out the water.
Yeah, it's going to be an ugly game. I really like the
This is going to be an ugly game. So I can see, like I said, I see why. I just... like I said, you got to pull my teeth. You got to pull my teeth.
The under sitting at 41 points right now, that seems way too high.
Yeah, exactly. It is me too.
But to your credit, I was on this Browns defense before the season even started. Yeah. But just check this out, right? 1st and 3rd down conversion. This is defense. 1st and 3rd down conversion. 1st and 1st downs. 1st in passing yards. 4th in rushing yards. 1st in yards per play. And 3rd in points per game.
What the hell?
That is a Super Bowl winning defense with a subpar offense. Like, if that team could just start clicking on offense, they could be potentially the most dangerous team in football.
They're the division leader now.
Yeah.
They're right there. They're literally right there.
So, yeah, I love the under. I don't think either of these teams are going to break 20 points. I think maybe the Browns have a better chance, but I see this being a pretty low-scoring game. I like the under. Most likely won't be a contest play.
What are the odds the score is 19-17 again for the Cleveland game? What are the odds?
Hey, I'll tell you what. I'll take it because I'll be betting under, and that's going under.
Damn right.
All right, Dino. This next one's for you. The Washington Commanders are traveling to New York to face the Giants. 2.5-point road favorites are the Commanders. Are the Commanders covering this game?
That's a tough question. Here's what I will say. I believe they will. Hell yeah, I believe they will. At 2.5 points, here's what you're telling me, right? I told you last week on the reason why the Commanders would win the game. Well, cover the spread and win the game against the Atlanta Falcons last week. And it's the fact that they can focus on the run. Bijan Robinson and them boys are really the engine of that offense. And the Commanders did exactly that. Kind of limit the run to the point where it doesn't really affect them. Now, they did get hit with a couple of deep plays in the passing game, but they bent, but they didn't break. Once again, I told you, the Atlanta Falcons, I don't see them putting up more than 17 points. Guess what they scored? 16. So when you can really, really focus, when that defense, like I said, can really focus on one aspect of the game, which you're gonna have to at this point, because isn't Daniel Jones still out, or is he coming back? Anyway, it doesn't really matter. There's not really much talent on the outside, and on top of that, the only thing I would say that keeps me from betting this is Saquon Barkley. It's because Saquon Barkley kills the Washington Commanders in every game, every situation, no matter if they're bad or good. That man is out there running wild. So, bet cautiously. I do believe in my team. Washington is 3-0 on the road against the spread. Little fun fact. And both teams get sacked. You know what I'm saying? Both teams get sacked, and that's the one. I think that's the one advantage the Commanders will play in. I have more.
Sam Howell's on pace to get have the most sacks.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? I think the last 2 weeks he's the leading passer. He's the leading passer right now too. He's really like. I love the moxie. I love the DeVito. The libido he has. I said DeVito. Libido he has, and it reminds me a lot of Taylor Heineke, except with more talent in the arm. I believe they can go ahead and handle business here, but please bet cautiously because you know how these Giants and Commanders game end up.
I'm just going to say this is mostly going to be a stay-off game for me. Like,
Yes,
the Commanders covered, and I think they have this weird public perception just because they won by 8. But if you look at the stats, the Falcons had 402 all-purpose offensive yards.
Mm-hmm.
The Commanders had 193.
Yep.
They let Desmond Ridder throw for 47 times for 307 yards. Like that, like no wonder the Falcons lost. The ball is in Desmond Ridder's hands too much, but to your credit, they had to throw the ball because Bijan Robinson was going nowhere. Algier busted like one decent run, but other than that, it was basically looked like a tush push all game. 2 yards, 1 yard, 2 yards. So that is one thing I will say. If they force Tyrod Taylor to throw the ball, is that a good thing for the Giants or a bad thing? Right. So yeah, I'll most likely be off of this one, but I think I do like the Commanders in the spot. Moving on to a team that I was just dogging. The Falcons are traveling to the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are 2.5-point favorites at home. I mean, dude, like what? I don't know. Like this line just doesn't make sense to me. Like you have two teams that are just coming off a bad loss. I mean, I'm going with the Bucs here. Like this, I don't understand. Like, okay, the Bucs just played probably their worst game of the season, and now they're going up against a team where their specialty is the Buccaneers' specialty. Run the ball against one of the best rushing defenses in the league. I mean, this is basically a replay of the Commanders and Falcons, but with the Buccaneers, who have a better pass or a rush defense, and maybe, I mean, a similar offense, similar weapons, but better. You know, like I don't know. Like this just doesn't feel right. Is this a trap or is the Buccaneers to play?
This. That is a good question because I am on the fence too, because this is how I see it. They're the exact same. They're damn near identical. Atlanta's pass defense ranks in the top 5. Tampa Bay's defense ranks in the top 10 in run defense. What are the two strengths of the team? The strength of the Atlanta Falcons is the run offense, and that plays right into Tampa Bay's hands. And the one thing Atlanta's been kind of really been consistent on so in the last 2 weeks, I've been passing the ball. Now, granted, we know that's not what they do. That's not what they're about. They're about running it. But let's be honest, man. This is going to be another division game, another grimy one. If it makes you feel better, Atlanta is 1-5 against the spread. They only won one time throughout the year.
Remember they started off like 7-0 or 8-0 against the spread last year?
Yeah, last year, and they were hot with Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
With Marcus Mariota. And what baffles me is this goes back to what I was talking about last week with the Atlanta Falcons. The reason why I can't see you put up more than 17 points is because y'all don't finish. And you can't finish. When the team predicates and focuses on the run against you guys are flailing. You guys are literally flail. They can't finish a drive. Once they get into the red zone, it's curtains. Desmond Ridder threw 3 picks in the second half. Because why? He was forced to throw the ball. So, like I said, Tampa Bay's defense may have had a rough week last week. But at the end of the day, like I said, them Gravediggers are still back there. I still believe in them. And to be honest with you, like you said, this team is actually good against the run. They don't even have to focus to stop the run here. So
yeah, I think the Buccaneers holding
I'm
the
on
lines.
your side. I'm on the Bucs side. I am definitely on the Bucs side.
Yeah, the lines the Buccaneers holding the lines to 20 points is, I think, speaks more volume to me than the Falcons going out there and throwing for 300 against Commanders.
Exactly. Hey, yo, I got another fun fact for you too. Do you know these are they're division rivals, but and 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams, the score has been decided by double digits
between the Buccaneers and the Falcons.
Yes, indeed. 4 out of the last 5. It's been.
I mean, I can see it, but like my biggest thing from this game is if the line is telling me this is going to be a competitive game, I'm taking the Bucs.
Right.
So
there you go.
That's as simple as that to me. So, okay, we've had them for several weeks now, and you know what time it is. It's time for the boom of the week. The Las Vegas Raiders are traveling to the Chicago Bears, and the Raiders are 3-point road favorites. What the fuck is this? Bro, listen, if there was I'd rather bet the over-under viewership than the actual spread of this game. I guarantee you, the only people watching this is going to be the own teams when they're watching the film on the game, and maybe these people's families and a couple diehard fans. There's no way in hell that they're tuning in to watch a 1:00 game with the Raiders and the Bears. Jimmy G just went to the hospital last week, and you got the Chicago Bears without Justin Fields. What the hell is eye-popping about watching Devontae Adams run deep post to not catch the ball all game? What do we like? Do we even talk about this fucking game?
No, we don't. No, we don't talk about this game. I got first things first, I already got one coach in the hot seat, and I really should bring the other one in the hot seat too, because ever since throwing back-to-back 200, 300-yard passing yard games, Justin Fields and that offense is right back to throwing double-digit passing yards. Double-digit passing yards. I don't, and like I said, Justin Fields might not even play. What's his name? Tyler Badgley?
I don't even know.
He sounds like the damn kicker, the Michael Badgley, the kicker from the goddamn Chargers.
I thought they were sending the kicker out there.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, and then what? Aiden O'Connell is playing again.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
You know, like, and here's what makes matters worse. I would feel even the slightest better about the Raiders if they can run the ball. Them motherfuckers can't even do that.
Yeah.
They can't even do that,
dude.
So, and had they even scored over 17 points? I think they scored over 17 points one time this year.
Who, the Raiders?
The Raiders.
Yeah, I think, because I'm pretty sure I think they 21 versus the Patriots. I think that's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, that's it. 21-17 last week against Bill Belichick in that debacle.
Yeah, so
yeah.
No, I don't think we really need to touch on this. I just know that this game might be the ugliest game in the week. So yeah, use your time elsewhere. Let's move on to the 4:00 slate. We've got the Battle of the Birds, the Cardinals versus the Seahawks. The Seahawks are 7.5 home favorites. This is an interesting one to me. Obviously we've been saying we like the Cardinals this, we like the Cardinals that, but there's one thing that is making me lean towards the Seahawks, and that is the Cardinals without James Conner. James Conner has been the glue of that team. Those 4, 5, 6 yard runs on second down to make a third and manageable. But now this team's facing third and long a lot. And you saw that last week with the Rams. The Rams just with Cooper Kupp, they just looked different. They started pulling away and the Cardinals couldn't keep up. And I think they're going against an even more explosive offense with more weapons. I think I like the Seahawks minus 7.5 here.
No, as do I. I think to be honest with you, this is the same identical matchup as last week with the Rams and the Cardinals. This is basically the same to me. Division matchup, the offense is hot, spicy, can really get going. And like you said, another game without James Conner means another game with no running game. And you know how that ends up with the Cardinals. So if you can't slow the game down, get chunk yardage to really prolong the game and take time of possession away from the Seahawks, you're bound to just fall.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
So I think this is a potential contest play. Seahawks, I love them at home. We love Geno at home. And the Cardinals, we bet against the Seahawks when the defense gets pressure, but the Cardinals aren't really going to get pressure. So it's just going to be a matter of Geno going through his progressions, making the right reads. And I think this offense is going to put up 30 plus this week. So let's go to a interesting matchup. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to the Rams. Rams are 3-point home favorites. Dude, I'll tell you what, Cooper Kupp is full form. It's like he wasn't even out. He hasn't missed a beat. Him and Matthew Stafford are 1A, 1B right now. And obviously Nakua there incorporates another threat to the offense that you have to worry about, because if you double Kupp, then you have Nakua. So like this team has just become versatile. Obviously, Williams being out for the Rams does hurt because he has been very good in the red zone for that team.
Makes that team balanced, man. Makes that team very balanced.
But I kind of like the Rams here, but the only thing that's kind of shying me away is obviously the Steelers defense. And, obviously Matthew Stafford isn't the most mobile guy, and TJ Watt is a line wrecker. So that does play some caution with me. I think I have to look into this a little bit more. What are you thinking?
I think I'm with you. I do have to look at this a little bit more. I ain't lying to you. I have been leaning overwhelmingly with the Rams, just in the case of the fact of Pittsburgh's lack of production on offense is going to cause field position issues. And when you give a quarterback like Matthew Stafford field position issues with Kupp, with Nakua and them boys, it's not going to end too well. And I do get the concern of the pressure because like I said, Pittsburgh brings a lot of pressure. They're very aggressive on defense. But I just feel like with the chemistry between Kupp and Stafford and just the way Sean McVay calls plays and get the ball out quick, I think they're going to be able to get the ball out quick enough to the point where it limits kind of that. But like I said, we do dig a little bit more. TJ Watt, like I said, is nonetheless a monster each and every game. He's a game wrecker, and like you said, you get games where Pittsburgh doesn't put up a touchdown, but they beat the Cleveland Browns 24-22. Games like that happen. I don't think that will happen in this case, only because the Rams' offense is a little bit better. But like I said, this might be a little talk we have to have a little bit more about this game.
Yeah, so this is definitely one we're going to dig into. But with that being said, let's move on to the next game of the week, and that is the Chargers facing the Chiefs. This is going to be a good game.
Yes.
I like the Chargers in the spot. And for this simple fact of when the Chargers lose, they lose by 1 score. They never get blown out. And statistically, the Chargers and Chiefs, it has been 1-score games itself for the last several matchups besides one. And that one, I believe, was the first time they faced off in 2021. So I'm pretty sure the Chiefs won the last two matchups by 3 points, and we have the Chargers obviously coming off a loss. I like the Chargers here plus 5.5. I think this number should be 3.5. We're getting 2 points of value in my opinion. So I like the Chargers plus 5.5. What are you on?
I just love the offensive potential of the Chargers. Just they best be able to kind of off-put the Chiefs offense, who honestly, let's be honest, haven't been as sharp.
Exactly.
I mean, really hasn't been sharp. Like I said, the only reason why I would even be hesitant of this is because actually the Chiefs defense have actually been balling. This is really the first time I've seen the Chiefs defense. I mean, other than the playoffs, of course, because they do come in the playoffs. But it's the first time I've seen the Chiefs really get added on defense to the point where I'm like, man, this is the top defense out there. That defense helps out Patrick Mahomes more than people really know. Like I said, Travis Kelce is always handy, but then again, bro, like I said, that Denver game against Kansas City was closer than a lot of people think, and the Broncos put up 8 points. So I can, you best believe I can count on Herbert's output. I can see Herbert throwing across the field a little bit. I can actually see the Chargers winning this game, but the coaching always derails that. So hey, let's stick to the one. Let's stick to the plus, and we'll take those 5 points any day.
Yeah. So I like the Chargers. Donnell are on the Chargers. Potential contest play. Moving on to the Packers and Broncos. The Packers are -1 on the road facing Denver. This one's most likely going to be a stay-off game. I mean, 1 point, like Jordan Love has his ups and downs. This Broncos team has their ups and downs. It's just two teams where they're too inconsistent where I almost can't make up my mind. I have to dig more into this game, find some stats, because for some reason my instinct is telling me to take the point with the Broncos. But this team has just been so bad in the red zone where it's like, I don't know. This one's hard. I'm having trouble judging this. Do you have any early thoughts on this game?
My thoughts is empty. My thoughts have literally a void, because at the end of the day, let's put it in perspective. You have Jordan Love, like you said, has been ups and downs. He had I think the one thing Jordan Love has really taken advantage of is good field position. The game where he had 3 touchdowns, he took care of good field position. And I think that Packers defense can offer that, only considering the fact that the Broncos at no point of the field, offense or defense, has produced really anything great. Now, Pat Surtain has kind of stepped up a little bit in a way. That defense has been trying, but I don't know. I just don't see it. Like I said, I don't have no real read of the game. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, I mean, that's tough. I don't know what else to say about it.
It's the spread that's throwing me off because I feel like the Broncos should be like plus 2.5.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I'll have to look into a little bit more. Maybe we'll come back to this later in the week. We're moving on to the game of the week.
Oh, yes, indeed.
The Miami Dolphins are traveling to the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles right now on DraftKings are -2.5. Just a brief disclosure for everybody who's following us. The lines for the contest don't drop for some reason until tomorrow morning. There has been a delay. So I don't know if their Eagles are at 2.5, 2, whatever it may be. But right now on FanDuel Sportsbook, they're DraftKings Sportsbook, sorry, they're -2.5. I'll tell you what, when I initially saw this line drop, Eagles -1.5, I immediately could not believe my eyes. I rubbed them and I was like, what the hell? Am I in a dream? Immediately threw some money on them. And then later on, I saw there were 2 and I was like, oh shit, this line's moving. I threw some more money on them. So I'm just going to say this. The Dolphins struggle against pressure. Tua struggles against pressure. Tua struggles on the road. What has he done versus... My biggest thing was I looked at what the Dolphins did against the Bills, and the Bills got pressure. They mixed up their zone and man coverage, and the Dolphins struggled. I think the Eagles have a better capability of doing that same exact scheme that the Bills did, but to an extra step. Jalen Carter looks like he's going to be back. Darius Slay looks like he's going to be back. That's huge. Obviously, the man that we have to mark is Tyreek Hill. You cannot let him get behind the defense. That is the one thing that does scare me. However, if we can consistently get pressure on Tua and shut down Mostert, because obviously A-Chain is on the IR, so you have Ahmed and Mostert. If we can limit the running game, I have no doubt in my mind that the Eagles will be able to handle business, especially at home coming off of a loss. This is a dream spot for the Eagles. I really think I had this number at Eagles -3.5. I really think that if they went out and handled their business versus the Jets, this number would have opened up at 3.5 and probably steamed to 4. However, if you can get the Eagles -1.5, I mean, that might be my favorite bet of the fucking year. And I'm not just saying that because I'm an Eagles fan. This number just does not make sense. I cannot believe it opened at 1.5. I really wish we did this show earlier in the week and I could have got this out, because the Eagles -1.5 and -2, I still see a couple 2s in some books. If you can get the 2, that's probably what I would stop unloading at. But Eagles, anything lower than 2.5, dude, that might be my favorite bet of the season, Dino.
Oh yeah, I'm right there with you, baby. This game is also in Philly.
Yes,
this is not in Miami. So first things first, you're already talking about a raucous crowd, and you already know what y'all do when they talk shit. Look at the Phillies this past week. Have you seen that atmosphere with the Philadelphia?
God,
of course you
me?
have. Of course you have. I mean, you're a Phillies fan, but the atmosphere is rocking right now. I honestly believe there is a carryover effect with that crowd from the Phillies crowd to the Eagles crowd, because I think that shit really does carry over. The Philly atmosphere is different as it is. Tua isn't going to be able to me. I don't think Tua's going to be able to handle that. Plus the temperature difference too. I get it. And if you're on the East Coast and you were raised around the Maryland, Virginia, Philadelphia area, Pennsylvania area, 59 degrees is really nothing. 59 degrees is kind of calm. Just know that compared to Miami coming over there, that's like a 30 right now. I looked at the temperature difference for this weekend, just for this exact weekend. And Miami is supposed to be 86 degrees, and Philadelphia is going to be 59. That's damn near a 20 degree Fahrenheit difference, and that is a
freezing
factor. Yeah, that's literally freezing for people in Miami. Trust me. Talk about them upstate boys who used to come from upstate down to Rehoboth Beach and get them, get those waters going, that wind start blowing. Yeah, it's a little cold. It gets a little colder down there, colder up here. So, I mean, how can you miss? I mean, like I said, I love 2.5. Believe me, I'm rocking with y'all all the way. And I feel like you're going to expose. I feel like it's going to be another exposing game against Miami and Tua, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm just going to say this right now. The Eagles are putting the Dolphins back in the aquarium.
Boy, crazy. But no, all I want y'all to do is just run the ball more. I need y'all to get back into that.
Yeah, they kind of went away from it last week, but I really think that was because Lane Johnson got hurt.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
But he's supposed to be back. He's optimistic. I mean, he's looking good. They said, no really major setbacks. It looks pretty minor. They're expecting him to play.
That means no pressure.
Exactly.
That's what that means. No pressure.
So let's move on to the Monday night game. We had the San Francisco 49ers traveling to the Minnesota Vikings without Justin Jefferson, and the Niners are 6.5-point road favorites. This is one that I would normally take the home dog, but this just seems like a get-right spot for the Niners. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey injury isn't ideal, but they said it looks like he might play Monday night. So if he plays Monday night, I'm going to love the Niners in the spot, getting him just under a touchdown. This is probably one of the more chalky plays of the week. However, they are coming off a really bad loss to the Browns, and they're going against a defense that is nowhere near the same caliber. I think the Niners will be able to put up points. I just don't see the Vikings keeping up with them in this game. What are you thinking?
Nah, I mean, I feel like the pace is going to be too fast for the Vikings. It just seems like the pace isn't the same without Justin Jefferson, and we saw that last week. I was high on Kirk Cousins. I was really high on Jordan Addison, TJ Hockenson, and TJ Hockenson did have a good game. I'm not going to take that away from him, but it just seemed like the offense didn't have as much movement, didn't have as much, drive, as much efficiency without Justin Jefferson there, and rightfully so. I mean, that's the top receiver in the league, to be honest with you, in my eyes. But I can't see them keeping up with the 49ers offense, who, like I said, just faced a top defense in the league last year and still ended up almost winning that game with a late game drive from Brock Purdy. So, like I said, I feel like there's going to be too much explosiveness for the Vikings to handle. The Vikings defense is ass as well. They just faced a ass offense as the Bears. Justin Fields can't get it right. And honestly, you're not going to get that with Brock Purdy in that offense. Even though I don't believe he's elite, I still believe the 49ers are going to get back to their ways of dropping 30, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. Like this just screams a Niners get right spot. And obviously that team without Justin Jefferson, they just look completely different. So I agree with you. Jordan Addison has to be able to take the reins of this offense and be that go-to guy. And I mean, he looked good last week, but he's got to get more volume if he wants to be a game changer. So I like the Niners in this spot. Total sitting at 44. So that's an interesting total for the prime time has been lately. So we'll see how that goes. But that's been week 7 for the preview. We do have a couple spots we do like. Obviously, for those who missed it earlier, these lines are subject to change. So, we're going off of what the current book play is now. We're waiting for the contest lines to come out because they're being delayed for some reason. But obviously, if the line's the same and we said we liked it, or if it's better, obviously, we'd still be on that game. So we will definitely have to look into the lines if they are different. That may obviously the half point may sway us in one way or the other. But Dynel and I will be back on Friday for our best bets in the contest. We're looking to bounce back after our first losing week. So we're going to bounce back and we're going to make up for it. I'm thinking 4-1, 5-0. We're going to dig in. There's a couple of good spots we like already. Make sure you guys follow the podcast on Twitter at @ShredTheSpread_. And if you're into TikTok, you can also follow us on there at ShredTheSpread.
Stay tuned in all week long. All week long.
That'll be your most informational way to stay up to date with the podcast. But for the Week 7 preview, for my co-host Dynell and our awesome producer Tyler, this has been another episode of the Shred the Spread podcast. Thanks again for listening. We hope to see you guys on our next episode on Friday. Until next time, we'll see you.
Peace.